our segment on health and wellness with health and wellness coach, Sister Sumaiya Hoosen. And we're catching up from last week when we're discussing, we began on our journey towards wellness, and Sister Sumaiya asked us many pertinent questions in terms of our direction, our growth, the road we'd like to take, the journey we're going to take for all round wellness. And I remember I was quite encouraged because she said we could do what physical activities we enjoy. And today, looking forward to the eating part of it to see, do I have to really alter what I enjoy, or can I continue indulging in those chocolates? I prefer dark chocolates though, so I'm hoping she'll say dark is good. But let me first welcome her. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, Sister Sumaiya.
Walaikum salam. Thank you, Mariam. How are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah, all good.
That's good. I think we stopped last week. We were talking about building our house, were we not?
That's correct. And along the way, you spoke to us. I mean, you asked me and our listeners pertinent questions, which I was making notes, being a good student who's focused on this path of good health and wellness. So if we can just maybe recap, and then we're going to start on drawing our architectural plan now. If we're going to our house there, as well as, I think, let's just see how we go for time, because then we can go with laying the foundation.
Okay, so I think where we stopped over the last time, we had your vision. You were my client, Miriam.
Mm-hmm.
So we had your vision and we had your goals, and I was your architect rather, and the two of us sat and we drew up our architectural plan, right? So now we've got our plan. We're going to lay the foundation. So there's two steps to the foundation, or two layers rather to the foundation, which I called your setup for success layers, right? So the one is set up for success in terms of your physical environment. And this is any environment that you spend a considerable amount of time in. So it's your home, your office, your car. Right now, for most people, I expect it's their home. Okay, and then your second layer of the foundation, the setup for success, is your mental and your emotional environment. Here we're going to look at your habit patterns, your triggers for these habits, the stories that you may or may not have been telling yourselves over the years and believing. All right. So if we go to the first layer, we're going to look at your physical environment. So we'll start with the home, because that seems to be the place where people are at the moment. So I'll tell my client, and I'll tell you, Miriam, in order to set you up for success, you need to clear your immediate environment of anything that may set you back. So anything that may be tempting, anything that you know is not good for you, that it's not healthy for you, any high sugar, high salt, high fat snacks that you have in the home, I'm going to say, start taking out all your stashes. And that includes the handbags, ladies, because I know all about those stashes. Start removing all of the stashes, and don't say that this is your last day of eating, so you're going to binge on them. No. There's plenty of people that are in need out there, especially at this time. So go out there and go and give it to somebody that could use some good food, or rather not good food, that could use any food at the moment, right? So the reason why I do this, Miriam, is because every time we step out of the door, we are enticed by a billboard or radio advert or a new pop-up food store or takeaway on every other corner that entices us with all these fast foods and all these snacks and these visual pictures. And I mean, even the aisle of torment at your grocery store, or nowadays, even if you go to a bookstore, you'll find an aisle of torment. It's stocked with
I
all
like
these
what you said about that. I'm going to remember that. The aisle of torment. I'm going to remember that. I just love that.
It's an aisle of torment. I've seen, alhamdulillah, I'm past the stage now. My kids are older and they know not to ask me. But I've seen those mothers with young kids, and it's so hard to navigate through that aisle. It's hard for yourself in terms of the will control you have to exercise, and it's hard for those that have little kids who are constantly being bombarded by this advertising and by visual stimuli. So what I say to my clients is, I say, you don't need it in your home. You have to exercise willpower when you step out of your home. So when you're in your home, take it out of your vicinity. Because no matter how motivated you are, when you have a sugar low, or when you've had a really stressful day at work, or you've gotten into an argument with your spouse, you're going to just look for something to give you that comfort, to give you that serotonin boost, and you're going to grab that snack, and you're probably going to binge on it. Okay? So that's
Right.
your first layer of the foundation. Your second layer is to set up your emotional and mental environment. Right now, this I want to change the mindset, because the current mindset has been through the diet industry has been it's a all or nothing diet, or mindset rather. So I either run 5 kilometers a day or I do nothing. I either eat chicken fillet and broccoli every day, or I just eat pizza every day. So I want to get rid of that mindset. It's not an all or nothing mindset. Like you touched on last week, we talked about ways of movement or exercise that appeal to you, things that are manageable for you and things that are fun for you. So we do the same thing with all the pillars of health. So in terms of eating, I'll sit down with you and I'll say, okay, so what are 5 healthy options maybe that you enjoy for breakfast? And if you haven't explored any, I'll say, okay, let's experiment. These are few things that I'd like you to try, and then you come back and you tell me what is it from those things that you like and you enjoyed, and that you could see yourself doing it every day if you need to for your whole life. And then I'll say, what are 5 maybe healthy lunch options that you might enjoy, or 5 healthy snack options that you might enjoy. So I don't want to pigeonhole and constrict you into these little tiny boxes where you feel so pressured and inundated that you're going to have to meal prep, and you're going to have to portion into these Tupperware sizes, and you have to run 5 kilometers or do 30 minutes every day, and you have to drink 3 liters of water every day, and there's no have to's. It's about progressing, and it's about incorporating things that are healthy but yet that you enjoy. And if you don't know yet what you enjoy, it's about experimenting and figuring that out as you go along. So right now, I don't know if I mentioned it last week, it's about progress. It's not about perfection.
Yes, you did, and I still have it here because that's my new mantra: progress and not perfection. Okay,
Yes.
so getting rid
So
of
the
everything, a cleaning house of all the
cleaning house,
unhealthy strategies, cleaning house, okay? And
cleaning
then
house and
to moving,
cleaning mind.
right. Okay, so
Okay.
decolonizing your mind, so to speak. So we're decolonizing it, right? So it was colonized, now we're decolonizing our mind as well. Okay, once we've done this and now we focus, we cleared off, we've taken all the compartments and that where to.
Okay, so now we've got the foundation, and I've given you just a very brief overview of the foundation, especially with respect to the mental and the emotional aspect of it. Um, but the mental and emotional aspect of it, of the foundation layer, it applies to each pillar, and as these triggers come up, we will address them as they apply, because it doesn't apply blanketly across all clients. Okay, so now we've got the foundation, we've got 8 pillars of health. So we're going to start on these 8 pillars. We're going to build on them. We're going to construct them. And we're going to start depending on where you are as the client. So from my health history, I will determine where your main concerns lie at the moment and where your weaknesses are at the moment. And that's our beginning point. Right? But for the purposes of for information purposes, I'm just going to go through them in no particular order. Okay, so one of the pillars is get your toes wet. And this, I'm sure your listeners and you must have figured by now, this has all to do with hydration and drinking enough water. So this basically reminds me of a rhyme which says, water, water everywhere and not a drink to spare. And in South Africa, Miriam, we're so fortunate that we have potable water on tap. Yet many people still reach for sugar-sweetened beverages. We drink our calories instead of eating them. And those that are water drinkers, they need to ask themselves the question, are they drinking enough water? And like I say, because I'm not prescriptive, and because the process is not prescriptive, I don't like to give a figure, but I like to I like for everybody generally to aim for around 2.7 liters of water daily. Okay, so I think hydration, I don't know whether everybody is aware of the key role that hydration plays, but I've said this so many times to so many different people that 60% of our bodies are made up of water. Our brains and hearts are 75% of water. So even dehydration as little as 2% puts strain on your heart. It makes your memory less clear. Coming to what you were talking about earlier, maybe you need to drink some more water, Miriam, if you have memory lapses every now and then. It can clear brain fog as well. And also, if you have dehydration, you're putting mental strain there. So when you have to make a decision, let's take a decision with respect to eating healthily, or reaching for a healthy option instead of a high sugar, high fat option. Um, if your brain is dehydrated, if you have impaired decision making, what do you think you're going to do? Do you think you're going to go for that healthy option or not? Probably not. We've also got a lot of research that shows that the people that were obese that drank at least 2 glasses of water before every meal managed to lose more weight, and they maintain this over a long period of time. So water is key. Funnily enough, I was speaking to a GP last night, and he was saying to me as well that in terms of boosting your immune function, it's so vital at this time with COVID, where respiratory distress is one of the main, not just one of the main complications of COVID infection, is that by hydrating, you're keeping your air sacs in a better position to prevent infection. So you're actually boosting your immune system. And with the cold weather coming on its way, most people are going to be drinking less. So I'd like to encourage people to consciously make an effort to drink more water.
I just want to recheck with you. So how much water it drinks differs for an individual, and this is dependent on your weight. Am I correct in this, or it's standard 8 glasses minimum per day for everybody? How do we
No,
gauge if we drink sufficient water?
there is no standardized formula for it. I mean, there's a lot of guidelines out there, but there is no research-based or science-based standard formula in terms of how much water you should be drinking. It does differ. You're very correct in terms of your weight, in terms of age, in terms of gender, in terms of physical exertion, and in terms of season. So there is no one formula that will fit anybody. But generally, I would say for the average person, the guidelines recommend that you should be trying and aiming for around 2.7 liters, between 2.5 to 3 liters a day.
So that should be about your 8 glasses, roughly
Yeah,
250 a
yeah.
glass thing. Yeah, okay. So
Right.
we're gonna do
So
that.
that should be,
And
yeah.
okay, and then there's that. I don't know. What's your opinion about the drinking with your meals, before your meals, after your meals, during your meals? Does it matter? Because there's a big debate there. So where do you lie in that mealtime drinking water?
Look, I believe very strongly, and it's a practice that I've done over the years, and it's held me in good stead. I like to drink water. I do drink water generally throughout the day, so I don't feel the need that I have to drink something immediately before a meal. But I do encourage my children to drink water before a meal because they don't have the habit of me carrying my water bottle everywhere. Not yet, at least. So I do encourage them before a meal to drink water, make sure that they're hydrated. And the reason I do this is because often we mistake we mistake thirst for hunger.
Mm-hmm.
So we could easily overeat, thinking that we're still hungry. In the meantime, we just dehydrated. So I would say drink some water beforehand, and I always have water with my meal. I always have it on the table. Um, After meals, from what I've read and from what I understand, I would say maybe avoid it immediately after meals. And the reason I say this is because once you've taken and partaken of your meal, the first step of the first step of digestion is your chewing. So obviously you need to make sure that you chew well and correctly and mindfully. But once it's past the chewing process, the second step in digestion is in your stomach. And the way that the stomach digestive process works is because of the high acidic nature of the stomach. So drinking water immediately after meals, especially a lot of water, would tend to dilute this acidic environment, making it harder for digestion to occur at that second stage of digestion. So I would maybe caution you if you seem to have digestive issues, not for the average person, but for people that seem to have some digestive issues, I would maybe caution them against drinking huge amounts of water immediately after a meal. I'd say give it at least 30, no, say give it about 45 to an hour after a meal. Only if you have those digestive complaints. I hope that answers your question, Miriam.
Yes, no, it makes sense. And just one more thing, while we're doing the water, I just want to explore this because for me, you know what, the best thirst quencher, best for all round health and benefit. But now, so just that, tell me something. Does it matter in terms of your temperature of the water? So tap water, tepid water, cold water, ice cold water. So what is perfect for our body in terms of water temperature?
Okay, in terms of water temperature, that's a brilliant question. In terms of water temperature, it will, well, I don't want to say it depends. What I'll say to you, I'll give you the facts. The fact is, if you drink water at room temperature, your body is able to absorb that water faster. So you're going to get hydration faster. So if you need quick hydration, I would say take room temperature water, right? If you are looking to boost your metabolism or to make it work harder, then you would take maybe refrigerated water or ice cold water, because that's gonna, now your metabolic processes need to heat that water up first before they can start utilizing it. So by heating the water up, you're using energy and you're using calories. So if your goal is, if you're on a weight loss path, a weight loss journey, that may be your step. But like I said, if you just had a walk-in netball game and you need some quick hydration, take it at room temperature. That's going to be your mainstay. So those are in terms of either room temperature water or refrigerated water.
And that the glass of boiling water in the morning, any truth in that to cleanse? Because it's just something that all our mothers did. When they used to wake up in the morning, I know my mother used to gravitate. I remember that time kettles were not as popular as they were today. And I know she'd be boiling and then a few drops of lemon or lemon and honey and that first cup of boiling water in the morning. Is there some benefit to it or is just habit for that time?
I think the benefit to the boiling water and having it warmer instead of just room temperature is that it allows your I'm trying to think of the polite way of saying it. It allows your intestines to cleanse themselves. Basically, it allows you to go to the toilet.
So like a colon cleanse.
Kind of. I think what it does is
Mm-hmm.
it just relaxes your digestive system, because when you take anything warm into your body, you feel more soothed, you feel more comforted by it. You just feel more calmer, and your digestive system just feels more soothed. So it just allows it soothing, and by soothing and relaxing, you are then it's more conducive to have your first bowel movement of the day. So that's what I would say would be the benefit of having warm water first thing in the morning.
Sumaiya, Jazakallah for that and water. And I think all my listeners appreciate this because now we've tackled everything with regard to water, but we are going to, I know from my part, I'm definitely going to make time to improve my water intake because sometimes you're so busy. It's not that you don't want to drink, you forget to hydrate yourself because you're so caught up in your other chores and duties and responsibilities that sometimes it's difficult just to sit down, get that glass of water and drink. So the water bottle on the go is a very good idea, which I am going to try and introduce into my lifestyle. We caught up at the time, so we're going to leave it the wetting our feet here, and then inshallah next week when we speak, we're going to continue with all our pillars to build that really beautiful, strong house that's going to exude beauty, almost as a beautiful one we see within Sumaiya, externally, internally, and the physical outside that. So it's all we're now building a mission to build a beautiful house, both within ourselves and externally and internally. So, inshallah, Jazakallah for helping us on our journey. You are
I
our
mean,
chief architect, developer, constructor, everything, engineer, all in one. Our health and wellness engineer, and that. So, until next week, inshallah. I for this week my homework is I'm going to keep hydrated. Jazakallah so much, Sumaiya, for joining us.
and thank you for your time. And next week, I'm going to check in on your progress with that water, hey? Because I'm the
Oh, well,
accountability coach.
as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That was
Walaikum
Sumaiya, and
salam.
please, I challenge everybody. Let's this week go that we're going to hydrate ourselves. The lollipop gang is no more. The Shazia's got a water. Zakia was eating a fruit today, so they also now taking the seed. I'm not even going to mention on air, call her out in case her mom is listening. She's not going to drink that anymore. I'm giving her a final warning that we're not going to allow this during inspired afternoons. But let's go for a short break, and then we're going to be speaking to memory expert and mentalist Michael Abramson.